What up everybody, it's me Blake316, and I feel it's necessary for me to do this video, mainly because I was doing some reading and I came upon this article stating that Analyst PS4 clearly topped Xbox One at E3. Now, I'm not really going to go in depth in the article because I mean it's common sense as to what was said in the article just by what the title says alone. And I'm going to be addressing this, but before I address this, I'm going to start off by saying Xbox One sucks, Nintendo Wii U sucks, the PS4 sucks. And I'm saying they all suck because I want to have a neutral ground and I don't want anyone thinking I'm playing any type of favoritism to any particular console. I'm neutral. I'm probably going to be getting all of the consoles. Granted, I will have one that's more preferred and I like over the other. But with that being said, right now I'm neutral. And I'm just going to be honest. And a lot of people out there don't like being honest. They're afraid to be honest because they're afraid and they're worried of someone disliking their video or them losing a viewer and whatnot. I personally feel that there's that one person that needs to be honest, and I don't have a problem playing that role. With that being said, I don't understand the hypocrites of these Sony fanboys and how they easily overlooked everything said at this Sony press conference and they're just so quick to say Sony beat Xbox One at the E3 and they're clearly going to win this console generation. Let's be honest. When Sony held their press conference, they for the first 15-20 minutes of the conference, they talked about movies and apps. If the Xbox One would have mentioned anything like this, they would have been bashed and never heard the end of it. Xbox One clearly talked all about games. But for some reason, Sony gets this pass where they can talk about Netflix and Flickster and Redbox, and it doesn't matter that they're just talking about movie players as if you need to tell me that a new console plays movies. Like, it should be a standard that these consoles play movies. Another thing is, a lot of Sony fanboys are completely ignoring the fact that now if you want to play online on the PS4, you have to pay. There's no more free to play on PS4. But apparently that's no longer a problem for anyone who likes Sony. But clearly they won, the E3 press conference. Another thing, Sony tried to trick people into saying that they try to make it seem as if Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts 3 were now PS4 exclusives. But a couple days later, an article comes out that's coming released for the Xbox One. And I'm bringing up this point because Sony only really showed about 4 exclusives in their press conference compared to the 13 that Microsoft showed. And I'm not making this Microsoft and Sony because my personal opinion, if Nintendo gave a release date for Mario Kart 8 and Smash Bros. 4 at 2013 and not 14, they clearly won E3. It was hands down, Nintendo would have won E3, but they didn't because of the release dates. But I digress. With that being said, Sony barely had any exclusives and you're telling me they won this press conference? People are clearly stating that Sony won this press conference and they won this generation because they said PS4 would be able to play used games. And clearly you guys are hyped up about a console because it can play used games. I mean, the thing finally has cross-game chat after 8 years with the PS3. And clearly that's why they topped E3 and over Xbox One. It's like, are you blind? Are you that much of a hypocrite? Are you really not really paying attention and you're just like, you only see one thing? Like, another huge problem that people didn't even acknowledge was the president or CEO of Sony said, PS4 would be able to play used games for their exclusive parties. They never said anything about third-party developers and whether or not they'd be able to give restrictions. People completely ignored that. People are just like, oh my god, you can play used games, PS4 One. You still don't know that. And then people are having a problem with the Xbox One always being online as if that's a huge deal. I bet 90% of the people who play online console or play console gaming period, their console is always online as it is. But because Xbox One is supposedly restricting you to that, that's a problem. But meanwhile, how many of you people right now currently have a PC that you never turn off in your house that's always online? I mean, people are saying, the Xbox One, they're invading your privacy and they're stalking you and, they're watching every move that you do. How many of you people have a cable box that you never turn the power off? Let me guess, is your cable company stalking you and monitoring every channel that you watch on TV? I mean, let's be honest here. Some of this stuff is common sense. And I really question some of these people's intelligence who are getting so excited that PS4 won this and PS4 won that. Like I said, I'm not picking one side. I'm just being honest that this PS4 thing is not as great as everyone seems to be. Because guess what? A little bit more common sense. If you don't want your Xbox online, why don't you just unplug it and you won't have to worry about them stalking your life as everyone thinks. Like, common sense. This is just really me giving my 2 cents on everyone just jumping on this bandwagon because PS4 clearly topped the Xbox One and apparently it's leading sales on Amazon and everything else. That's a whole nother issue. Like, people, they want to pre-order what console they prefer, but the reason why they're saying this is better, I mean, let's be honest, it's because you're saying that this thing can play used games. Really? You guys are going to buy a brand new console day one and you're going to buy used games for it too? No. Let's be honest, people. It's me, Blake316, just giving my thoughts and opinions. Make sure to follow me on Facebook at Blake316. Follow me on Twitter, Blake316. Follow me on Instagram, Blake316. Make sure to subscribe for future videos. Peace.